Let's check out what fish I have left after 4 years. Hello everyone, ReeferGil here. Before we get started, we're going to go ahead and talk about what fish I have lost in the last 2 years since my last update. Sadly, I lost my purple tang about a year ago. He was perfectly healthy, eating just fine. One day I realized I didn't see him swimming around. He just simply disappeared. At around the same time, I also noticed that I couldn't find either one of my barnacle blennies, and I also lost one of 3 antheists. I never recovered any of their bodies. They were all just gone. A few months later, I noticed a brittle starfish out and about after the lights had gone off. I noticed he's gotten a lot larger, and I became suspicious if he was the one to blame for the fish loss. At night, fish tend to sleep within the rocks, and they're easy prey for a larger size brittle starfish. I pulled out the brittle starfish and made him a new home in the sump where I occasionally feed him now. Let's take a look at the fish I still do have. So my Ocellaris wrasse is extremely shy. I could not get any decent video of him for this shot. So I'm using some video from 2 years ago. I thought it was really cool because I was actually able to capture him burying himself in the sand. Ocellaris wrasses grow to about 4.5 inches. They need minimum of 50 gallons, and they need about 2 to 3 inch sand bed so that they bury themselves under the sand when they go to bed at night or when they're stressed out. But in case you missed it the first time, here is the Ocellaris wrasse actually burying itself. Hands down, my 2 most favorite fish in the system, the ones I'm most attached to, are my 2 black and white Ocellaris clowns. When I first purchased these guys, they were so small the pumps were blowing them across the tank. Even as little babies, they immediately took to a rose bubble anemone I had in the tank. You can see how happy they are in the mass of the anemones. I've never seen one of them travel any further than the surface above the anemone to get food. Otherwise, they stay right inside the anemone. There was a period of about 3 months that they were spawning every week. Of course, when I set everything up in an attempt to raise the baby clownfish, they stopped spawning, haven't spawned since. I left everything set up for like 4 months waiting for them to spawn, never happened again. The minimum tank size for these guys is 30 gallons and they can grow up to 3 inches. The purple dottyback is a solid magenta color, really cool little fish. He's always out in the open. His minimum tank size is only 30 gallons and grows about 3 inches. He can be very aggressive towards similar species of fish, but he's an excellent tank mate in this system and really cool little guy. A viewer's favorite is this dwarf angel, the flame angel. I feel I got lucky with this particular fish because I've heard horror stories of this species making meals out of clams, soft and hard corals. I've had 0 issues with this guy picking at any corals, and I've had him for about 3 years. You're taking a gamble buying one of these fish for your reef aquarium, so buy with caution. They require a minimum tank size of 70 gallons and can grow 4 inches. So adding them last to a peaceful community tank is recommended. Here we have a Scopus Tang. I purchased this guy after my purple tang passed away. They're way cheaper than purple tangs and do the same work with grazing off the rocks. Not nearly as eye-catching as a purple tang, but he's cool in his own ways. He can grow up to 1 foot long, way too big for this 75-gallon tank. He's only about 4 inches right now, so he's doing just fine for the moment. Larger Scopus tangs require a minimum tank size of 120 gallons. He's a peaceful community member as long as there are no other tangs in the system. His coloration is a cool tan and yellow. My barlet antheists have become extremely shy and skittish when I walk by the tank. They never used to be this way, and I swear I'm not beating them. They spend most of their time behind the rocks, and they seem to swim vertically more often than not. Their minimum tank size is 70 gallons, and they grow up to about 3.5 inches. I'd say the 2 antheists I have are just about full grown. I believe these are female since they're solid yellow, where the males have purple, red, and orange. Honestly, I'm not sure if these guys are going to make it into the next system because really what's the point of having fish if they're always hiding? This is probably my favorite cleanup crew member. This is a fighting conch snail. He has a very cool rainbow colored shell. He moves very, very slowly because, well, like his name infers, he's of the snail family. He has these 2 eyes that bug out of his shell and these forward legs with suction cup-like ends to them. He cruises the bottom of the tank, sifting through the sand, glass, and the rock looking for food. They do eat detritus, and some even swear that they eat cyanobacteria and red slime. These can be kept in any size aquarium and grow to a maximum of 3 inches. It's also a good idea to supplement their food with some frozen food. I still have 2 other cleanup crew members that are still worthy of being mentioned in the video. That's my skunk shrimp and my fire shrimp. And I almost forgot to mention the 2 harlequin shrimp that I also lost. I feel like such a horrible fish keeper. All these things that have died in the last 2 years. I had the harlequin shrimp in the system. They were a pair. I originally introduced them because I had an Astorina starfish issue. Within 3 months, the pair just eradicated the whole Astorina population, and I started feeding them chocolate chip starfish. Then I got red bugs, and I used interceptor medicine to get rid of the red bugs. Removed all my invertebrates that I could, that included the harlequin shrimp, and put them in a different tank. I allowed the medicine to run its course, so I thought, reintroduced all my inverts, and about a week later, my 2 harlequin shrimp died. So that was my fault. I reintroduced them way too soon into the system after I had dosed it with interceptor. That'll do it for this video. Please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and a reminder to follow me on my next build. See you guys next time.